Hi, I'm Dermot. Today I'm asking you to fund Just Treatment, a group that will ensure the medicines and vaccines we need to fight COVID-19 are free for everybody at risk, and make sure NHS staff get the funding and support they need. I hope you and your loved ones are okay in these really difficult times. Thanks so much for taking time out to watch this and the other pitches. Just Treatment works with patients who have life-threatening illnesses like breast cancer, hepatitis C and cystic fibrosis. We support those patients and their families to come together and articulate what they need so they can get the care and support they deserve. We're still young, but we've already had a massive impact. I want to start by sharing one of our most important successes so far, helping Christina and her son get the treatment he needs. You might recognise him from the papers and This Morning and Victoria Derbyshire last year.
Hi, my son Lewis is 9 years old and he has cystic fibrosis, a life-limiting genetic condition. For over 3 years we fought for a new medicine that at over £100,000 per year per patient for life was understandably too expensive for the NHS. Our desperate pleas and those of thousands of other families across the country just weren't making a difference, so we turned to Just Treatment.
I'm Lewis. I'm 8 years old and I've got cystic fibrosis. I get infections in my lungs and it makes it difficult to breathe. I have to go to hospital, miss school and do hours of nebulizers, physio and medicines every day. Even on Christmas Day and my birthday. I get out of breath a lot when I'm running around with my friends. A drug called Ocami could help me breathe better. It could stop me getting poorly so often, and I mean I don't have to spend so much time in hospital. But it is too expensive, so the NHS can't afford it. I've been to the Prime Minister and the FedEx. Dear Mrs. Hunt, you have the medicine that can make me feel much better and not have to spend so much time in hospital. I've been in the newspapers and on the TV. But nothing has changed. Nobody has helped. Plan A isn't working, so I need your help for Plan B.
So Just Treatment worked with us and around 10 other families, putting patients at the heart of the situation and empowering us to be more effective in what we did. They helped us build a strategy that put pressure on politicians and the drug company, and it worked. When the government accepted that things needed to change and that it had a responsibility, eventually the drug company dropped its price, and now Lewis and thousands of other patients across the country have access to the medicines they need. And as Lewis is now thriving, it's made a life-changing difference to us. So we're incredibly grateful for Just Treatment. And we'd just like to say a big...
Thank you, Just Treatment.
Thank you, Just Treatment.
Thanks a lot.
I'm incredibly proud we were able to help Christina and Lewis win cross-party support for their campaign. We've proven that our model of building the power of people directly affected by a health injustice can win change that everyone thought was impossible. Well, the NHS is facing its biggest ever challenge with the COVID-19 pandemic. Who will get access to the vaccines and treatments? How do we ensure everyone gets equal access to care? How do we invest in our NHS so doctors and nurses can do their jobs properly? We'd planned to spend this year working with people impacted by underfunding of mental health services. Then everything changed and our patient leaders and NHS staff on the front line asked us to step up. We're ready to do that and make sure the voices of patients are at the heart of the debate. Over the last week, we've developed a powerful new strategy to build a patient-led movement to respond to the pandemic. We want to firstly find the people most affected by the current crisis. 2, bring them together online to campaign for key changes like equal access to the vaccine and long-term investment in the NHS. 3, we want to train these patients and those groups so they're able to speak in the media, and we want to give them access to world-class tech so they can organise online together. And ultimately, we want to win lasting changes for them and thousands of others who rely on the NHS. I'm going to be honest with you, Just Treatment runs on a shoestring. To deliver everything we're being asked to do, we need to find about £50,000 more. That's why your contribution to that could really save lives. Specifically, the money you give will support our brand new organisers who started this week to find and work with people directly affected. It'll help us buy the powerful new tech we need to bring people together online as we're all social distancing, and it'll cover the essential expenses of organising all of these participants. Alongside financial contributions, we'd love to get offers of help from people who know a bit about tech and web and people who understand charity fundraising. Thank you in advance for any support you can offer. These are uncertain times, but I believe that through solidarity, we can build a collective response that saves lives and builds a better future from this moment of darkness. We can make COVID-19's lasting legacy a stronger NHS that safeguards everyone's right to health. Well, as you've heard, we are changing everything about what we're doing in response to this, but that's because COVID-19 overlaps completely with all the stuff that we already see to be really, really critically important and questions we were already trying to answer. So, who pays for the development of new medicines? How do we guarantee everybody gets fair access to them? How do we ensure our NHS is properly funded and patients are getting the care that they deserve? All of those things are being directly impacted by COVID-19. So we're changing a lot of stuff. We're also making lots of changes internally to make sure that we've got the systems in place so that our staff are supported and our patient leaders are supported, and protecting them in the work that they're doing. After that, we'll go back to plan A again and get on with all the other challenges facing the NHS today. I guess I would say quite simply, I don't think anything else works quite as well as this. I spent 10 years working in the AIDS movement, trying to make sure people around the world got access to HIV treatment, and that movement saved millions of lives by centering its work on the lives of and leadership of people living with HIV. But I realised, like in the UK, that wasn't really happening in the same way. And we started Just Treatment to build up that patient leadership, because we recognise it brings like a power and a moral authority that is really difficult to withstand. And we've already won campaigns with it and generated unprecedented coverage, but we've been operating on a shoestring. And with your support, we can scale up, because God knows with the NHS in this current state, it really desperately needs the leadership of people like the patients we work with.
Hello there, Michael Maynard here. Can you imagine what it's like to have a life-threatening disease and know that there are drugs out there that can help, but you can't get them because the NHS can't afford to pay the prices the pharmaceutical companies charge? Well, Just Treatment enables and empowers people to lobby and persuade and change things so that people can have access to the treatment that they need. We're all feeling incredibly vulnerable right now, so you can imagine how important this is. They're about just treatment, that's fair treatment, which we all deserve, and certainly the most vulnerable in our society. So please join me. I'll pledge the first £300. So a real typical TFN project this. It can save lives.